Good old-fashioned networking is still alive and well and a great way to generate high-quality buyer and seller leads. But what's the best way to go about networking? If you go to a networking event, a party, whatever that may be, and you are having idle chit-chat with someone and ultimately it kind of goes to, hey, well, what do you do? And you just simply say, hey, well, I'm a real estate agent, that's a really bad way to introduce that. And you may ask yourself, well, why is that such a bad way? I am a real estate agent, and that's an appropriate answer. The reality of it is that real estate agents, quite frankly, have a very, very low opinion out in the marketplace. Now, you may not want to hear that, but that just is the reality. I'm sure you are the very best agent in the entire world. But unfortunately, you are surrounded by agents that have created a very bad impression in the industry. We see that a lot. Oftentimes, real estate agents are classified like car salesmen, maybe attorneys, others. And again, that's just the reality of it. So immediately, something pops into the head of the person that you're talking to when you say, I'm a real estate agent. So how do you combat that? Well, number one, it's not that you're trying to cover up the fact that you're a real estate agent, but potentially you could learn some different word tracks. And here are some of them. You may say, you know what, I have the very best job in the entire world. I get to help people make transitions from one home to another. And that's what I do. How about you? Right? So you take the attention off yourself and put it on them. Why is that important? Because they're expecting something different. They're expecting you to say something to the effect of, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Do you know somebody who's going to buy and sell a house? Right? All of a sudden you just go right for the jugular and people are like, oh, hold on just a second, I just met you. Or you may say, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and have another, little bit more idle chit chat, but ultimately it goes back to, hey, if you know somebody who's going to buy or sell a house, I'd love to earn your business. I'd love for you to have a referral, right? What are those things? You have to really look at what is appropriate in actually developing the relationship. The best way to do that, again, is just say, hey, I've got the very best job in the entire world. I get to help people make a transition from one home to the other. What is it that you do? Ultimately, the conversation will probably circle around to, well, hey, tell me a little bit about the real estate market. Tell me what's happening. Oh, I hear in this area. Oh, I hear interest rates. Oh, I hear, right? It's a natural, normal conversation that then you earn the right at some point to just simply say, hey, I put together a monthly newsletter, or hey, I send out market reports for people in the neighborhood, or man, I have a lot of people that they're just interested in what their neighbor's homes sold for. Give me your email address. I'm happy to shoot that to you. And if there's ever anybody that has questions about it, I'm happy to answer those too. Right? So it's very, very casual, very natural. So it really becomes your approach to networking. Quite frankly, just be cool. Don't be contrived. Be the authentic you. Don't try to go out and shuck and jive and do all this kind of stuff, being someone that you're not, trying to put on the face, trying to, apply the things maybe that learned at the networking seminar. It's a lot easier just to be the authentic you, who you are. Really be there with someone. Be present with them. Very, very important, because oftentimes we have a very difficult time just being with someone. It's uncomfortable. We don't know them. But realize that they are just as fearful of you as we might be of them. So you know what? Let's just embrace that. Welcome to the human condition. It really just doesn't get any better. We're going to deal with those fears our entire life until we realize that we all have that common fear. So just kind of let that go, but don't do it in a way that it's over the top, because oftentimes our fears, we can then all of a sudden use our fears, use that energy as some kind of moxie to come over the top and be gregarious and all those kinds of things. Well, if that's your natural personality, fine. No problems with that at all. But if that's not the natural you and you just kind of need that to pump yourself up, retake a look at that approach. You don't want people running from you at parties. You don't want people running from you at networking events. You don't want them going back to their circle saying, oh, well, that person's a real estate agent. You want people to go back and say, wow, you know what, that was a really nice person. I really enjoyed that conversation. Wow, you know what? That person's got some great information or some great insights. So always ask yourself, how can you add value to the other person? And even from a business networking perspective, very, very important to understand what other people do and what value you can add to them. And so a great question to ask them is to say, well, hey, what would be the number one thing that if I could do that for you would have the greatest impact to your business, right? What's the number one thing that I could help you with or bring you or whatever that would have the greatest impact on your business? Now again, the words have to be yours, can't be contrived, and you have to be genuine about wanting to do that. So if they're a roofing company or maybe they're an appraisal company, whatever that may be, you need to say, well, hey, tell me a little bit about your business. Tell me a little bit about the challenges that you face. I'm happy to share, my experience as well, and perhaps I'm able to help you. I can use my knowledge to be in service of you. And I guarantee everything that you pay forward in a conversation, you're going to receive. So those are some tips on networking. Networking, again, is a fantastic way to go out and start developing your database, your sphere of influence, but do it in a cool way. And once you have their contact information, then you can actually put them into some type of what we call campaign to start nurturing that. But the campaigns need to be cool. And they need to start out with, wow, I really enjoyed meeting you. If you ever have any questions about real estate, give me a call. Whatever that would be, is, hey, I really enjoyed meeting you. In follow-up to our conversation, I found this great video. And one of the resources that I share with my coaching clients and those that work with me in my agency is use TED, TED.com, TED.com. What's so great about TED is that there's a wide variety of really cool programming about technology and entertainment and design, and find things that really resonate with you. And also that may be appropriate follow-ups to the conversation that you had. Maybe it was about a business challenge, or maybe it was a personal share, or maybe an interest that they had. You can find a TED Talk and just say, hey, I really enjoyed our time together. As I was watching TED, I thought of you. Here's the link. I think you might enjoy it too. See, that's just a super cool way to then start easing into this conversation, build and just say, hey, and then the follow-up email or follow-up text may be, hey, what did you think of that TED Talk? I found something else that I found interesting as well. Thought I'd share it with you. I hope all is well with you. Right? So you are just in a very, very easy way developing that relationship. So again, hopefully this helped you understand a little bit more about networking. I own an advertising agency, work with real estate agents, mortgage professionals across the country, really helping them create integrated campaigns, which include networking as well, to help build their database so that you can really send and craft messaging that's appropriate for that context. So if you're interested in having conversations about how we might be able to help you, we only work with a very specific type of mortgage or real estate client, ones that are really interested in building their business. Happy to have that discussion. But more importantly, I'm happy to take a look at what you're doing currently, can give you some tips on what you can maybe do better internally. Maybe there's other companies that are more appropriate for what it is that you're doing and what your business goals are, and there may be an opportunity for us to actually talk about working together. But either way, I hope that this information was very helpful on how to be a better networker.